I'm still going, and I are. Hey everyone, I got a lot to do. I got that surgery coming up, so I'm gonna be chatting with y'all and sewing at the same time. So I'm actually making a sheath for this bad boy. This right here. It's a K bar. Beautiful, beautimous. I have a feeling the camera is backwards. So read that in the mirror. K bar. But I'm making a sheath for this. It's a beautiful. It was all dirty. I cleaned it up. It's got two blades. And this is what I came up with. I'll be sewing this first, right here. Already punched some holes. And I'll also be sewing this right here, the belt strap. Hi, Velvet. This is for the belt strap. But I gotta sew because the 4th I have a back surgery, and I want to finish this before that. But so I hope y'all don't mind about that. That looks like about enough. This is always the fun part. I do the double saddle stitch. Let's see if I can get this in here. And I use these gloves right here to pull it tight because I have on this finger, you can see right there, I got like a cut. That's from sewing and pulling like that, and it cuts into my fingers. Yeah, thank you. Be praying for me. It's gonna be February 4th. I'll probably won't be live for a little while or doing any videos, probably for about 4 weeks. But then that, you never know. I recover pretty fast usually. Let's see. This thing doesn't want to get on the needle. So if you guys ever want to see how to do a saddle stitch, so you pierce the thread, kind of like that, and then you pull it, makes a loop, and then you pull that tight. Now we have the first one threaded. Now for number 2, uses 2 needles, 1 thread. Let's see if I can do this one faster. Oops, upside down. Oh no, oh no. Okay, gotta go down. Man, I don't know what it is, but it feels like the ground gets farther. The older you get, the farther the ground gets, the harder it is to get down there. I don't know if you guys have that same experience, but boy, I do. Man. So, I got it right. Let's see if I can see what I'm doing here. Doesn't want to go on. There it is. So you give it a little length. And then let me see if I can show how I do that. I want to pierce it. I don't know if that's showing very good. Like I'm all shaky. I'm not showing it at all. Well, it's hard to do when I'm showing the camera and not looking at it myself. But it's piercing it, right? that's not good enough. It only caught one thread. Got to get more than that. Again. I hear some geese. It's raining here. The jets are flying, the military jets. I guess that's as good as it's going to get.
Are you on the line?
Yeah, I am. I'm live. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is the knife sheath. I'm using this kind of closure. That's called a Sam Brown post. And I'm going to sew this onto here. Instead of putting a hole through this and mounting it onto here, this part will touch the knife. When you slide the knife in and out. And I don't like any metal touching the knife. So this is what we do. Let's see here. Put it through. And then we even up the threads. And then we're going to weave in and out of this. Did I get it in the hole? Yeah. We're going to weave in and out. Now we go back through that hole. And this is why I wear the gloves right here. Pull it tight or snug. But after a little while, that starts to cut your fingers. At least it does mine. Yeah, so my wife's doing really good. And she's recovering well. She still can't use her hand. Hopefully in a few days she'll be a little more able to. They told her for what they did it might take another couple of weeks. That was about 8 days ago. So we're hoping that she's healed up enough, because once I go down, the first probably 10 days is going to be really hard for me. Man, you guys, the crash. Did you guys see the crash? That crash, the second one, into the little in Philadelphia. That wasn't no jet. I was looking at that, and that was a rocket. There was no jet there. That thing came in blazing in way faster than a jet. And if the jet was, I mean, it was going way faster than a jet. There was no jet. No jet. That was a freaking rocket. And then, you know, all the people that videotaped it, I looked at several angles of the video. Okay, the first jet, the helicopter intentionally flew into that. I'll tell you that right now. I'm a aviation buff, and when I watch YouTube, I watch people flying their planes, people that they own jets and planes and stuff like that. So I watch these guys pre-flight and then fly their planes, and they have the audio where you can hear the tower or hear actually air traffic control. Not always the tower, not until they get close to the airport. Then it's the tower. But air traffic control controls everything that a jet does, because they fly IFR, which is instrument. They fly by instrument instead of visual rules, VFR. So VFR is visual flight rules. IFR is instrument flight rules. When you fly IFR, that means you're flying, and ATC, air traffic control, is telling you how fast to go, what altitude to go. They warn you of planes coming in, but all the planes nowadays, most modern planes, especially a military helicopter and a jumbo jet, that was a jumbo jet, they have what they call ASB, which they can see anybody that's flying, that's running, especially IFR. They have to have a number that they're flying for and squawking a certain number, and they can see that on their radar. Well, here we go. We're almost there. That helicopter was intentionally flown into that jet. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. He saw it. They asked him if he saw the jet, and he saw the jet, and then he flew into that. He flew right into that. And I don't know what's going on with all that, but I can tell you that was intentional. Now, the jet in Philadelphia, I don't know if it was landing or taking off or what. It came from a pretty high altitude, and it came in so fast that wasn't a jet. That wasn't a jet. That thing was booking it way faster than a jet could fly. And then, if you've seen the one blow up, the helicopter and the big jet, it didn't make as near as an explosion as that little jet. There's no way that little jet, the fuel that it had on board, would have made that big of a explosion. There had to be something else. It was something else. I guarantee it. That all that doesn't even make sense at all. Let's see here. Here we go. Yeah. So weaving in and out. Now I just do one more stitch. And this is what it looks like on the inside. That was no jet. Ain't no way that thing. And you can go back and look. Plus, all the videos, did you notice that everybody that videotaped that didn't even hardly speak English? They were saying Allah Akbar or whatever it is they say. I think that was planned. Because why did all those people that don't speak English, that are Middle Eastern, why were they all out there with their phones and everything ready to capture that? Something's up. Okay, so now I cut these off, and I leave a little bit of space, a little bit of thread. That little tail, okay? And I don't know where, I got one here somewhere. Oh, it's over here. It's in my drawer here. I have a lighter just for this. But you burn that down. Oh, there's a little bit of wind. Okay. Melt that. Well, it kind of messed it up, but this is a freebie for a neighbor, so I don't care too much if I mess it up. Too bad. Try not to catch it on fire. Whoops. Press it down. So there we go. kind of, but it's handmade, so it's not a sewing. I'm not a sewing machine, but that's never ever going to come off, and this part's never going to touch the knife. Hey, bolt gun, what's up? Okay, so that's on, and now we have this other side. This is the part that's going to fold over like this. Goes like about like, I'll glue this together, and then I'll sand all these edges smooth. Once I sew that on, and then this part's going to hold it onto the belt. And I still need to round off this edge. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. Like, I don't know if I'm going to make it a point with a rounded point. I'm not sure, because when it folds over, it's got to close on there. But that's not what we're doing right now. So we're going to, yeah, so man, those jets, I'm telling you guys, there's some stuff getting ready to happen. You better get your CB and a little bit of water and food and get ready, because it's about to go down. I can't say exactly when, but I can tell you we're closer than we ever were. I would get prepared for the worst and hope for the best type thing. But I can guarantee these dudes are going to put up a fight. They're not going out without a fight. If I had tickets to at one time when I worked at the casino, I had tickets to the Super Bowl. If I had tickets to the Super Bowl today, I wouldn't go. It's going to get real exciting, man. What they say? Stay frosty. Keep your powder dry and stay frosty, right? Is that the saying? Okay, so we're going to do this again. I would absolutely get ready, because it's about to hit the fan. It's about to hit the fan. Yeah, this is a flat waxed thread. I don't know if you can see that it's flat. See, this side's the narrow side, and then it's flat. Yeah, me too, or grass grow, right? I would rather do that too. But it is exciting. Sooner or later, at some point, we get our country back. We get our freedoms back. Yeah, head on a swivel for sure. If you see something, say something too. You see that one guy, he did a video and he was saying that he was daring him to come get him. Come to my job, come to the job site and come get me, ICE. And he was daring him. I dare you, I dare you. And then like a day later, ICE shows up and they got it on the news, And he's out there confronting ICE has got him arrested. He changed his whole demeanor and everything. But there's military choppers flying around today and jets flying around, and it's been a busy day over here. I don't know if it's like the weekend warrior thing. Yeah, a lot of grass. Yeah. At least that'll keep you happy while we through the lockdown. I'm actually hearing they're going to have another pandemic. They want to try to lock us up again. I actually think the next thing that's going to happen is the economy going down. I think the economy is going to crash next. And I always tell everybody, you should have bought some, buy silver, all that. I never could afford it. I don't have anything. I'm ready for like the shutdown. Like, I cleaned my bank out today because I'm hearing that it could go down by Monday. We're broke. The country's broke. Everything's broken. But I like what I'm hearing about Nisara Gasara. I'm really liking that. I've been hearing that for, man, 10 years or something like that, reading about Nisara Gasara. Okay, here we go. And this time, where should I start? Which hole? I'm gonna start on a corner. How's that? We'll start at this corner right here. Ooh, it's a little tight. Man, that's real tight. What the heck? Okay, let's even up our needles. And I hope I gave myself enough. I hope I gave myself enough here. If I didn't, no biggie. Oh. Yeah. This Nisara Gasara thing has me excited. The med beds, that has me excited. So does that AI thing. The AI, somebody was telling me the AI is going to be the quantum financial stuff. Like if we think of it as AI, it's scary, but if you think of it as quantum, it's not scary. Like we've been waiting for this, so I'm not so real worried about it. But I do know what AI is going to eventually what AI is going to do. Eventually, AI is what's going to bring life to that idol in the temple they're going to build. Trump's going to help him build the temple. Watch. The third and final temple. And that's going to be Trump helping him. And you know that means we're getting close to the end. I think that's where we're at is we're coming to the end here. Any time now the Lord could take us out of here. I believe it is going to be the good. I believe it. But it's going to get really tough too. All the companies, manufacturing, it's all owned by the bad guys, the families, the cabal. So that has to all be destroyed, right? And I can see that coming. Pretty much, huh? Pretty much. I thought about buying those little packs of Kleenex, and when I run across my family of whiners, or buy some cheese and crackers. Tell me, you want some wine with that cheese? You want some cheese with that wine? Cheese and crackers with that wine? Something like that. I'm gonna have to use this. This one's, I got it a little bit tight. There we go. But yeah, the Nisara thing is, I've been waiting for that for a while. I've actually been waiting for that for a while. I'm kind of a little bit ticked off about the last 4 years. Yeah, but I understand, they could have, they had everything then. If you followed the letter 17, then they already had everything. They were saying it. We have everything. Everything's already done. We're just watching a movie. Well, then just get on with it then. I don't understand. They say, oh, you have to wake everybody up. Bullshit. Let them be asleep. A lot of them are still asleep anyways. They're still listening to the news. They're freaking idiots. They can't. They're so used to. I guess I think of it like when Moses came to set his people free. God sent Moses into Egypt and told him, let my people go, right? when they got out in the desert, after God did all these things, parted the Red Sea and fed them manna from heaven, dropped a bunch of doves or pigeons or whatever, and then they're like, we want to go back to Egypt and be slaves. Yeah, right. The currencies, some of the foreign currencies. I own some. I own some African currency, the really old stuff. I seen the video of the guy in Nigeria, the Nigerian president. Nigeria is a nasty place, man. At least it was in the late mid '80s when I was there. It was real poor, you know, and dirty and crazy. Oh man, glad I'm almost done with this one. But yeah, so far, how does it look? I enjoy making leather stuff. I made this the other day. It's full of BBs. It's heavy. It's a big old box of BBs. But I needed a real heavy one for some bigger things that I make. I need some more coffee here. Why, thank you, Velvet. A couple of more holes and we're done. So in and out, in and out. It's pretty tight. I could have made the hole a little bigger. See, and then I pull this one down like that, and I go back through the same hole. Yeah, the wealth transfer, man, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the wealth transfer. God showed me a vision about what I think is coming, and he showed me that, you know, it's going to be rough. There's going to be some rough patches, and like there's going to be no stores, no money, no banking, and there'll be a time where we have to believe. The people with faith, kind of like how Jesus fed the 5,000 with, you know, a few fishes, or I can't remember her name, but she had a jar of oil, and long as she didn't empty the oil all the way completely, it kept refilling. Well, we're getting ready to come to a time where we'll have to have that kind of faith, where you're going to have to ask for things, believe for it until it gets in your hands. He showed me a vision of that, and then he actually was teaching me how to do it in the vision. But we're getting ready to come up on that, and I'm pretty sure. And should I go back through that hole or go through a side? I think I'll go through the side here. Yeah, something you don't want to do is you don't want to pierce the thread. So far I'm good. Ugh. I didn't pierce it. Close though. Almost pierced it. Whoa. There we go. Okay. So this time I'm going to melt that on the inside on this one. There we go. Got a little end. I'll spread them out a little bit. I think I made them too big. Let's see what we can do here. Oops. Yeah. And you know what you need to do with this now? On this one, gotta hammer them down. Got just the thing. So this is what the stitches look like before you hammer them down. Oh, look at that. A little melty plastic. Looks like a hair. It's not a hair though. It's thread. Okay, so then you flatten them down. It's not as straight as could be, but I don't really worry about these belt strap things. But that's the next thing. Yeah, I was trying to get it done before so I could go live and not have to do this. But I'll tell you a little story about the other sheath. The other one, the first one. So the neighbor brings this knife over, this K-bar, and tells me he wants a pouch sheath for it. And I tell him, sure, man. And I don't have a pattern or anything, so I got to design it. And then once I have it all cut out, and I should have been cutting this part out, and I forgot that part. I wouldn't have forgot that part, but he wants to sit out here and chit chat with me and grab things and look at things, keep taking it from me and checking it out and changing his mind on this and that. And so when he left, I hurried up and jammed and I put it together, and it was all done. It was beautiful, beautiful stitching, all the way around here was all stitched. I mean, it was gorgeous. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute, there's something missing. I'm like, no. So once the thing is together, there's no pulling it apart and adding that belt loop on there. Just won't happen. So he comes over in the morning and he's looking at it and he's like, man, that's beautiful. He goes, oh, I love it. I go, there's something missing off of it. Can you figure it out? No, it's beautiful. There's nothing missing. After about 20 minutes of looking at it, then he figures it out, right? Yeah, there's something missing, all right. The belt loop is missing, so you can't carry it. So I immediately, and then he runs off with it. He likes how when he was pulling the cover off and snapping it off and on that. Like, what are those fidget toys? He was doing it like a fidget toy. Now, this guy's like 90 years old. And he runs off and he's saying something about how he has to show his wife his new toy. And he left the knife and everything. I'm thinking, this sheath is his new toy? It took me a couple hours of thinking about that, and then I realized he's using it like a fidget toy. Pop, 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 right? Open and close, open and close. There is something satisfying to that. But hilarious, man. 90-year-old playing with his knife sheath, goes home and shows his wife his new toy. He didn't even care about the knife at that point. He didn't care about the belt loop on it or anything, That cracked me up. Old dude. Yeah, so what do you guys think is next? For reals? Is it going to be the money? I don't think the arrests are going to happen right yet. Do you think on March 4th they're going to change the government on? Have you heard about that little theory about... on March 4th, That's when President Trump's going to be the president of the Republic of the United States, right? Something about another president, like I think it was Lincoln. Last time when he was, that's when it was. It was up to Lincoln was March 4th, and that's when they get put in office. Let's see, I started on that corner. I should start on this corner to keep it the same, right? So we'll do that. And make it even. Put my finger on that and hold it so I don't pull it through. And in and out, yeah. Usually I put it on I have a stitching pony, and it's like a clamshell piece of wood. It goes like that and holds the leather so you can sew it. But for these little things, I'll just use the... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I want to go this way. Yeah. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter really. I'll go that way. But yeah, so is March 4th going to be when President Trump becomes president of the Republic? And then we get to find out there is no more DC, or whatever they want to call it. You know, no more DC. I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping that's what happens. I really do. I'm hoping that we hear that Congress gets ousted. Congress is now nothing. We already can see him taking over the military. But I have a feeling that you got to realize the military, some of these people, the DEI and the cabal, they hold high offices in the military. Some of them might even control bases, ships, big ships, stuff like that. If that's the case, there actually could be military fights between our own military as they try to take back bases. You know, or they could be using like that helicopter to fly into a jet. They can use assets that they control to do damage. And I was telling my wife, I actually think that's what the deal is right there, like telling Trump and these guys to back off and, you know, don't think they're going to change the military back the way it was. Otherwise, they're going to see more helicopters and more assets killing people. Something like that. Hey, Renee. Squash. The squash zone. Squashes, man. Everybody's seeing them. Everybody's seeing them everywhere. I saw a picture of Barry Webster, a native guy. I don't know where he is, but he had a picture taken off the res from where he's at of a Sasquatch. And just, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I agree. Too many crashes. I don't think we've seen the end of it yet. We're going to see some more. And, you know, and you're going to have a surgery too? I'll be sending some prayers. Send prayers my way for February 4th for back surgery. I'm finally going to do it. Pulled the trigger. I postponed it twice. Oops, I didn't mean to bang my mic. I don't know if that I did. I hope I didn't. But I'll be praying for you, Renee. What happened to your shoulder? I have crushed discs. That's what they're doing is they're putting spacers on my spine. They make me bend over like this, arch my back this way, and opens the spine up, you know, the spaces. And then they put these clamps on each I don't know what you call them on the spine. We have these little bony things sticking out, and they clamped that. I think it was tragic. I don't think I'm not so sure there was anybody on the plane, but if there was, that means the bad guys did it, not the good guys. I've been hearing the good guys did it, like what's his name, Hegseth, or is that his name? And he said it was a continuity of government thing. What does that have to do with it? A mission of continuity of government? What does that have to do with it? That blew me away when he said that. I was like, what, dude? Like, continuity of government? Does that mean we're getting ready to see the Republic? I'm hoping. Oh, back through that hole. I didn't pierce the threat. I didn't pierce it. Ooh, I cut myself a little short here. Man, I don't know if I'm going to make it through those 2 holes. I might not. Whoops. Boy, really close. I'm cutting it close. Let's see. Oh, man. It's going to be really close. I think I might make one more stitch. I only have one more. Oh, yeah. I think I got it. But yeah, he said it was continuity of government. I'm like, what, dude? Really? Continuity of government, huh? That's way interesting. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm getting little dents in my gloves. I don't know if you can see them. Where I push the needle through. Oh, that one was rough. Yeah, the Bigfoots are showing up. They really are. It's pretty amazing to watch. Everything really. The last few years, more and more stuff is happening. I won't be able to pull that through with my fingers. I thought they weren't released yet. Have you? I haven't heard. I heard they were going to release them, but I haven't heard that they did. Ooh, ouch. Just cut myself back in that same cut. Okay, I'm going to go back in this hole if I can. Uh-oh. Ah, I can't. Wait, I can go back in that hole maybe? Well, shoot. Let's see. It's just not quite long enough to get in that hole. Let me see if I can get in there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. If you have a link to that, I would love to read it. Oh man, what the heck? Come on now, get in there. May not be able to do it. Well, all right. I'll just do that and I'll just cut it off right there. Epstein list. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I mean, I don't care who's on it, but I think the people that are on it, I think they care. Freaking asshole, bad, demonic people. Absolutely demonic. Ooh, cut it on fire. All right, hammer this one down. There we go. Now that belt can go through there. Yeah, they are. Totally. Man, it's going to be tight. But once you get the belt through, let me see. I got a piece of belt over here. Let me see. Like this is the size of a belt. I can get it wet and stick it through there. I kind of want it to be tight a little bit, because if it's tight, at first, right, it'll be tight, but after you wear it for a while, it won't be flopping around, you know what I mean? It'll get looser where you can put your belt in it. But I kind of like it tight like that. Yeah. I wonder if I should try gluing this. I'm ready to glue. I can glue this down. I think it goes like this. It's going to be a little bit, even that's going to be a little bit tight. Well, I'm kind of squeezing it. Something like that. And then this will fold over. Dang, I didn't leave myself enough room, maybe. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room. Man, okay. Yeah, actually, I've been wanting to, I've been wanting to go out here, recent, but I haven't had time with the wife having her surgery, and then me scheduled for his surgery, and then I had that month-long trip to Idaho. Our power was off for a month, like 6 weeks, I think it was, or was it two months? It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Our power was out. I can't remember how many. It was weeks. I know it was a month or more. I can't remember. It didn't get turned on from man, it was like September to November. It was like 2 months, I think. What was that? Friday the 13th, December, saw 4 illuminated. Really? See, that stuff's being seen all over the place too. All over the place. But yeah, when probably it won't. I made plans to, let's see, February, March, April, May. So end of May and early June, that'll be when I can finally, that's estimated 90 days before I can actually do any kind of anything, right? They're telling me 90 days is how long I'll be down. That's a long time, but it's my 4th one. I was in a wheelchair, pretty much almost in a wheelchair, and that's when Jeff, I couldn't do I couldn't do everything that I wanted to do, or everything Jeff wanted to do. And that's when we started having trouble, because I couldn't do anything. I was in a wheelchair pretty much and barely could walk. And that's actually when I don't think I would have been out of Paranormal Central if it wasn't for that. But I'm pretty much out of it now. I mean, I'm not even in the loop with Jeff anymore. We have a little group that Danny and some of the guys were in, but they have a whole nother group where they talk about what they're doing, right? This one's just talking about current events, what's going on, and sharing things, but not anything of what, like going out bigfooting or any kind of UFO calls. But even though that I'm not in that little group, I still get a lot of people that for some reason they don't like to hang out with Jeff or listen to Jeff. They say they can't listen to him, right? That's what they say. I can't listen to the dude, you know. But they're some of them are alien abduction, and some of them live in Bigfoot hotspots, dogman areas. So I'm always getting updates from stuff like that. He is. I mean, he does, but he's more into the political stuff right now, right? He's more into the political stuff. So you're not going to see him. You, he still does, you know, from what I understand, but he's not right now. The big news and what's going on is what we're seeing right now in the news, right? Man, I hope. Man, if I didn't cut this big enough, I'm going to find out right now before I... Okay, so that's about even right there, right? Okay, so let's see, right about right there. Okay, hold that tight. Oh, I don't know. That's pretty close. I might have to make this one over, this part. I don't know. That's pretty tight right there. And there, I got to put a hole in that. That's not much room. I kind of wanted to come down here more. Dang. I didn't realize that. I was using the other one as a pattern. That's another thing. I made it out of thinner leather, a thinner leather. The thicker leather you have, the more you have to measure out, because the bends and stuff like that, with the thicker leather, you need more length. Same with belts and all that. If you use a thin leather, you don't need it as long, but the more thicker you go, the longer or wider you have to have it. And it looks like I shorted myself. It looks like this one might not get done till after the surgery. You know, but hey, he's not paying for it, so yeah, ain't no way. I'd rather have too much than not enough, you know what I mean? That's what she said. You know, yeah. Well, at least I have this part. This is the main part right here. I don't want to do that one over. That's wet molding. I could just lay this on another piece of leather and give myself a little bit of length. Yeah, I will. It'll probably, like, I'm pretty sure, let's see. I'm pretty sure I could fit a buck 110. Let's see, I got a buck right here. Yeah. I could probably put a buck 110 on that and have enough room, right? Or a 112. It's even, I think it's even wider than the 110 by a little bit. By a lot. Oh, well, not a lot. It's two blades. Two blades. This thing's nice, man. This is like 1972 K-bar. USA. I don't know if it's got the model number. 1184. So it's a K-bar model 1184. And it has this other blade. Ooh, I'm not used to using these gloves for this. Big Daddy. That's some big blades. Long. Beautiful knife. It was so dirty. You could barely open it. It was so grimy I could barely open it. Man, it has some snap to it too. Woo. You don't want to get your finger in the middle of that. Man, it'll bite you. I was trying to figure out how to clean the plastic fake Stagalon or whatever they call it. I kind of want to shine it up, but I don't want to ruin it either. I shined up the metal. I shined up the knife and the springs in the back. It's got some cracks in the plastic right there. What I use is, I'll show you. This is what I use. Never dull. And it's backwards, right? Of course. But this stuff right here, it takes a little elbow grease, you know, but it cleans good. It polishes okay, but then I have I used the Dremel with a polishing wheel on it, and I used the white rouge and the green rouge and the red rouge, depending on how badly like it's scratched and stuff. I just did I did this one. I've been using it though. This is my EDC, but I cleaned the blade. This one I got all dirty, but it's not really that dirty now. It's just got fingerprints, but you could see I use it. You could see the tape on this side, right here. But it shines pretty good. I mess this one up all the time. Like, I use it like crazy. I love the carbon fiber. It feels like I can't break it, you know what I mean? But I got one I cleaned up. This one was really dirty right here. It's a little... Yeah, huh? They love it. Yeah, you're right. It used to be Brasso, remember? Back when I was working for the sheriff's department, everything we had was brass. And I used to go through the Brasso. But I cleaned this one up and shined it up. But you could already tell it's already starting to get dirty again. But it's not real bad. I'm gonna... There's a pastor of a church. His wife and him are into knives, and I'm thinking about using a sheath like this, but more like, you know, two pieces of leather together instead of a taco where it rolls over like that, and then putting inside here, putting some. I'll show you. I got this idea. I got these. I was in Harbor Freight and I was looking around, and I got these magnets, these little round magnets, and I was thinking about making a sheath without a belt holder. Maybe put this kind of belt holder on it, but this, man, I don't have one out here. Yeah, I do. I have one out here. Okay. So a sheath like this, smaller, you know, for this kind of knife, but see how it's two pieces of leather and a little piece of leather in the middle called a welt. But without this part, without this, but inside have magnets, have like 3 magnets, 1, 2, 3, and put one, when you put like a thin layer about the thickness of the magnets, and cut holes for the magnets and glue them in there, and then the what in what would hold the knife in there is the magnets. And then instead of really a belt holder, I'll put a clip like for like because this is so little. I mean, this is how little this is. This is 110, right? Just a little knife. I think the 110 open is longer than this knife. Let's see. Might be close. It's a little bit longer. So, but then have the magnets holding on to the blade inside there, and that's what will hold it in is the magnets. So I never, it's just an idea. I like to do things, that different. And I was thinking of this like a boot knife, right? Or for the pastor's wife of this church, this girl, with that clip right here, the clip would be like right here, leaving the whole handle exposed, completely exposed. And then she could like clip it into her purse. She could clip it in onto a pocket. She could clip it onto a belt. She can clip it in her boot. And I'm thinking about, in that way, the magnets hold it in. And these rare earth magnets, I haven't tried them yet. I haven't tried them. If that doesn't work, I don't know if these might be a little bit big. I think too fat. But these are pretty strong. Use that on my press. But just, I like playing around with stuff, right? And if you guys think of anything that I might try, let me know. Because I'll try it, I would love to try it. Yeah, this was a failed attempt right here. I made it too tight. The knife wouldn't. I made another one already. The knife's in the house. He hasn't picked it up yet. But I made it so tight that it wouldn't. When I put it in, I had to pound it with a hammer on the edges to get it out. I couldn't even pull it out. So I was using the hammer, knocking it off the knife, right? I felt stupid. But hey, it's all designed by me. That knife didn't have a sheath. There's no patterns, right? I have to draw everything out and then measure tolerances and everything to where it fits, not too tight, but snug enough where it has a little bit of resistance, right? It takes a lot of practice. And I haven't played around with leather. My daughter was the last thing I made was my daughter a bracelet when she was 5. She just turned 40. So 35 years that I haven't been doing leather. 35 years. But I had done leather for 20 years. Before that, I started out when I was like 8, 9 years old and worked. By the time I was 12, 13, 14, I was making gear for all the deputies, holsters, handcuff cases, key fob holder, like jailer keys. You've ever seen a bailiff and they have something like this hanging on their belt, and this part slides through the belt, and then it has like a little clip for the keys, and all the keys hang on it and ride on this leather piece hanging on them. Well, I'd make those. A lot of them were into, back in the day, they're all into fast draw. So I made probably 6 complete fast draw with double holsters for the 45 caliber, with the belt loops were going around it like that. And it was actual gun rig, right? Like the cowboys were on. So you'd see the cowboys get the gun belt with all the bullets around it and the holsters. I made like 6 of those from like 17 to about 20, until I was about 22. I don't even know how many holsters, duty holsters. You know, they were back then. They were carrying the 38 and the 357, and occasionally a 1911. The Highway Patrol in California, that would be a lot of work. It is a lot of work making the belt loops. There's a way to do it though. Like it seems you would think it's like, oh my god, how do you figure that out? You know, but really it's not hard. Like you figure out what, like, the size of the bullet, say for a 357, you know, it's like that big, and you grab about a dozen 357 rounds, and you make your gun belt, and then you make the slots that the leather's going to go through. So then when you put it through the slot, you put a round in there, and you pull it tight, and then you stick it through the next slot, and then you sew. So you sew the strap on one side, and in between the spaces of the slots, that's where the bullet goes. So it'll come out a slot, wrap around the bullet, go into the slot, come out, and go back in, and you sew in between the two slots, the two bullets. You sew that strap down. So once you have it tight, you sew it down, hand sewn like I'm doing right here, and then you sew each one all the way. So, like if you have, I never had more than I think 20 rounds at the most. Yeah, yeah. You know how many? I don't know how many belts. You know the basket weave belts that you get at the cop store, cop shop, uniform shop. The black basket weave belts. Some have brass buckles and brass fittings, and some have nickel. And I made, I don't know how many of those for bus drivers, like city bus drivers, transit bus drivers, postal workers, all the cops. Like the sheriff here, the sheriff's department used brass, so I would make the basket weave belt with brass. And then the city police department used nickel or stainless steel. That's okay. I use it too. Yeah, and in fact, I just made my mailman. Uh, he was being a bitch, and people were. I live on a really busy street. It's not like a boulevard or anything. It's a neighborhood, but it goes through from one main street to another, and people use it. They use it like a shortcut. Yeah, that sucks on that. But the people use it like a shortcut, and there's all these apartments on my street. There's just a few houses. I'm in a house. But the apartment people, they blocked my mailbox. And the mailman was putting letters in my mailbox and telling me, you know, he wasn't going to deliver my mail if telling me I needed to move my car. And I kept telling him it's not my car. And I can't make people do anything, right? It's a public street. I can't make people do anything. And I would complain to the cops, tell them to give him a ticket. I told him, you do something, right? Don't you guys have some kind of power where they can write tickets if they block mailboxes or something? I don't know. And so I can't remember how I found out what belt size. He's a 32. He's just a little dude, little skinny guy. And I found out he was a 32, and I made him a uniform belt, the basket weave black with the stainless buckles and stainless polished screws. And one day I met him out there, and I gave him that belt, and he was like, what? Like, for free? Like, yeah, for free, man. You know, peace. Let's make peace, you know. And he's been so nice. Now he mean mugs anybody that parks in front of my house. I love it. You know, he's like yelling at him and stuff. No more yelling at me, man. He yells at them. I love that. And in fact, I made him another belt like 3 months ago with an eagle on it and feathers and stuff like that. Real pretty Western belt. Just for the, and I gave it to him. And the only reason I did that one is 'cause he's a 32. That's like a little kid size. Most guys are 36 to 45, 44, right? Oh, man. Boulevard lights. Have you guys seen the light flickering? People are saying lights are flickering everywhere. Street lights are flickering. You know that there's a reason for that. If you see that, don't fall for that. That there's something going on. The lights are flickering. The LEDs, they last forever. An LED will last forever, but the little diode thing that steps the power down to the level that an LED uses from 120 or whatever, those things burn out and they don't last forever and they burn out pretty quick. And then you need a new LED light. Like when they say, oh, this bulb will last 50,000 hours or something, it will. But only the little diode thing will not. Transformer or whatever they call it. And when that goes bad, it flickers. It makes the light flicker, blink. It'll do all kinds of weirdness. That's what it is. If you hear lights are flickering everywhere and oh my God, there's something going on, they're flickering all around the world. Well, it's not usually more than a few lights, one or two, a lot of times just one. But if it's on the same circuit and it's using the same little transformer thing, when that goes out, then 7 lights, whatever is behind that powers, they'll all be flickering independently too. Independently. So, don't fall for the something's weird going on. All the lights are flashing, yeah, no, that's what it really is, Dang, let me see here. Take these gloves off. It's going to be 71 tomorrow. Can you believe that? Like just 2 days ago, it was like 50. See, I don't drink sodas or anything. And my blood sugar's off the charts. And I don't even drink soda or I don't eat ice cream or cookies or nothing. I don't know what's going on with me. And they're telling me, you need to change your diet. I'm like, oh my God, 31's pretty good. I've lost, I don't know how many pounds. I went from 220 to 183. I don't know how many pounds that is, but when I was with Jeff doing Paranormal Central, I was 220 easy. Now I'm 183. It took me like 2 years to lose it, and all I did was cut down on my portion size. I didn't exercise. I didn't do a diet thing. Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Let me take this off. Whoops. I just lost my microphone. Mr. Microphone. I got this one. This is what I'm wearing, but I took my knife out of it. Let's see if I put this belt back without breaking my microphone. I love these microphones. It's wireless. I mean, the microphone's not wireless, but it's wireless going to the transmitter receiver. This is the transmitter. The microphone plugs into it. I just wear that on my pocket. I have the other one right here. And then I have this one right here. It's plugged into my phone. And you can see when I talk it. And I have two of those transmitter things. And this one will pick up both microphones. Yeah. But yeah, so, well, you guys seen me. I made another mistake, another leather mistake. Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. This isn't gonna be long enough. Yeah, I'll save it. I will save it. This color, everybody wants this color. It's mahogany. Everybody wants mahogany. I like antique tan. I like antique tan. See, this is a fold over kinda with a welt. You can see the welt in there right here. But this is a fold over. It's connected right here. So it's this, you cut it out and you cut it leaving a little piece right there. And this one you make long. So when you cut it out, it looks like that with this part flipped down. If you can imagine that. And then you just put your belt loop on it. I like this belt loop better than this kind of belt loop. But a lot of people like this one. It holds it closer to your body. I like mine to be out a little ways. I like this one. It's actually pretty tight on the knife. It holds the knife real good. You don't have to wet form it. See, that's the difference. This one's not wet formed. This one has to be wet formed. You have to wet form it to fit the leather, to fit the knife. And then I even put another piece because I make this real tight. And then I put another piece right here. And then when you push the knife in, it's almost perfect. But leaves just a little bit to where it has a little bit of tension when you slide that in. And you can tell it doesn't touch the metal. See that? If this thing was sewn into this piece, that piece of metal would be sticking out right there. Or I would have to cut a piece of leather to keep it from hitting the metal. This is way better, I think, and looks better than having a piece of leather put over this right here, which could come off, right? An orange and a beige one. I can make orange and beige. They have all kinds of colors now with leather. Back when I was a kid, the colors didn't work that good back in the day. But nowadays, they have paint, every kind of color dye, and everything is just like tattoos, right? Tattoos are all colorful and bright and everything. Same with the leather dye. Well, you guys, I have to go make dinner. So an orange one and a beige one of what? A knife holder, or something you have, a belt or anything, a purse, a wallet. I probably could, but only that's really hard. You have to they have to be packed with padding and stuff like that. Like I could make vests, leather clothes, all that kind of stuff, but I choose to do belts and holsters, knife sheaths. I'm looking at making some bags, like carry-on bags for, what do they call them, a weekender type bag or a duffel style. Also some backpacks. They have some roll top backpacks that I've been looking at. There's a lot of sewing though. If you don't have a sewing machine, You're the sewing machine, you know. That said, though, the sewing machine stitch is not as good as what you guys saw me put on here. That stitch right there will hold. Even if it breaks a stitch, it will not. It can break 3 stitches and it will not come out. A sewing machine, 1 stitch and it starts unraveling, because what it is when the thread rides like this and the needle goes through the hole, grabs the thread and then pulls it into the middle and it locks it like that. So when you break a thread, it just unravels all out, because there's nothing holding it after that. The way I do it, it goes through and then it goes through and then I pull it tight, and then it goes through and I pull it tight, it goes through and I pull it tight. If it breaks a stitch, there's no anything. Well, anyways, I gotta go make dinner. My wife can't make dinner yet, and I saw what time it was. Man, I think it's getting on like 4 o'clock, and I got a lot of prepping. I'm gonna do something special for her tonight. Ooh. No problem. Broken arm, broken shoulder. Bunch of cripples, aren't we? Old and crippled. All right, you guys. I shall see you real soon. Okay, you guys take care. Pray for me for the back surgery. All right, and I'll see you real soon. So how